Welcome to KQEG and Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. This week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, this week, the spotlight shines brightly on a program at UWL, women's soccer. And this, fresh off the press release, one of the top-ranked teams in the country in Division III. Just saw that this morning. So, welcome to the show, and Jason Schmitt, along with Jason Murphy, I'm sorry about that, and Natalie Herzog and Maya Schmitt. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Jason, we've been on the show many times.
Yeah.
And fourth season as a head coach. Progress of the program.
Yeah, we're going in the right direction. I would tell you that when I came here 4 years ago, we were shooting that we could get to this point and we could be competitive every time we go out and play. And we've really taken some positive steps in doing that, and it's a credit to our players. These two are juniors, and we have a big junior class, and they've really laid a solid foundation for not only now, but for the future, and what our expectations are and how we expect to play and how we try to play.
Well, you're the leader, and you were the right person to bring in, and we're going to talk about that because what you've done resurrecting and building the program. But in case you haven't seen, one of the hallmarks of the program, driving down Crosse Street and seeing that beautiful field, something no one thought was going to ever occur. I'm not even sure you thought that was going to occur when you were hired.
Yeah, no, it's been something that is a byproduct of future expansion for the university. And it's been a long year trying to get the phases done, but as every phase has been completed, we've been happy. It fits our style. We've really built our program around being able to play on turf and play fast and keep the ball and move the ball. And because of that, we've really had a lot of success. And I think our players enjoy playing on it, and they love playing on it. So it is state-of-the-art, and once it's totally done and buttoned up and finished, we're going to be very lucky.
You are. Well, Natalie Herzog, for some I've met Natalie, a junior from Lake Elmo, Minnesota. Read about in your resume, your high school experiences, soccer, lacrosse, gymnastics. Whoa, you were quite a talented athlete. Multiple sports. Could have went anywhere when you graduated.
I don't know about that.
Talk about your high school experiences.
I loved my high school experience. I obviously liked doing many things. I couldn't choose one that I liked actually the best. We got lacrosse my freshman year or sophomore year in high school, so I was like, okay, I'll try that. Ended up loving it. Played all the way to my senior year. Played hockey also my sophomore year just for fun, and also gymnastics for freshman and sophomore year. But mostly soccer stuck. Obviously, I'm here playing soccer.
Well, played lacrosse.
Yep.
Now, times I've traveled to Europe, they'll always, where are you from? And I tell them, well, tell me about the sport of lacrosse. Well, I tell them, I hate to say this, but in the city of lacrosse, the sport of lacrosse is not that big a deal.
Yeah, it's not that big. It's small in this area. The Midwest doesn't have much for lacrosse. But yeah, even our school, we have the club sport, but it's not a varsity sport yet.
Yeah. And Maya Schmitt, a junior from Lyndhurst, Illinois, Lake Community High School, all the way down in the middle of Illinois, and coming up to La Crosse, Wisconsin. Was it a culture shock?
Not too bad. It's still luckily Midwest, but I wanted to go to school where it's still big enough than a regular small private school. But it was nice to come here and still have the city, and then other things to do with it, besides school and soccer.
And of course, you left a legacy in high school because you were lettered 4 years. Yes. You were MVP. You were all conference.
Yeah.
So there must have been other schools that wanted you to play there too.
Yeah, I was looking at some other UW schools and smaller schools closer to home, but lacrosse is a good fit distance-wise and size-wise, and obviously. They're big in sciences, which is what I was looking into.
And you came here, and right away, did you fall in love with the area?
Yeah, I came here for the ID camp my senior year in high school, and after I left, I knew I wanted to come here. So it was just a matter of fact of eliminating everything else.
And Natalie felt the same way, I'm sure?
Yep, I wanted to come here from the beginning. It was just comparing it to other schools, and in the end, it fit the best distance-wise, academically, and soccer. So.
Well, we talked a little bit about what you've done with the program, Jason, in your fourth year, and I know you're modest and so on. However, school record last year of 14-5, 2015 year, you were Coach of the Year. 14 students have earned all WIAC, and you've done extremely well. Talk about this year's team, and is it about what you thought? As you are on top of the conference, too, 3-0. Oshkosh right behind you at 2-0-1.
Yeah, I think we returned a big group. We had 2 seniors last year, and they're a big part of our program, but we returned a big group. We returned a lot of starters. We returned a lot of our core. So we knew going into this year that if we were able to play the soccer the way that we wanted to, and everyone did their work over the summer, that we could come in and play some pretty good soccer. And so we've been pretty excited. It's probably a little bit ahead of where we thought we could be at this point, but the results are important. It's great to be 10-1-2, but the reality is I think we get better. We're still getting better every single day, and as a coach, that's what's really important, is that what you do today will be better tomorrow.
And you said if your players did what you expected them over the summer, so players are made during the off-season. Teams are developed during the season. A huge disparity there, huge. And so what do you expect from your student athletes in the off-season months?
My expectation is that they put themselves in a position that they can play as many minutes as they want going into the season. So what that means is you got to be fit. I say, be the fittest you've ever been. We talk about being fit. In terms of playing soccer, playing soccer is great over the summer, but it's really not a high priority. I would rather have you be fit as opposed to playing a lot of soccer. Now you can do both. You can play a little soccer and use it as part of your fitness. But for us, we're a high endurance sport. We put on a lot of miles. We expect you to be able to put on a lot of miles. We expect you to be able to work at a high level. And our players did this summer. They put in all the work, and you can obviously tell based on some of our results.
Working at a high level. And Natalie, that does require cross-training in the summer. That requires discipline nutrition-wise, and it requires you to not take time off, but to reach your peak performance. A lot of young people maybe that are watching don't really understand the commitment that it takes to become good or become a collegiate athlete unless they're willing to pay the price during the off-season. How did you do that?
Coming into it was hard because I didn't really know what to expect, especially not having played a college sport. So I guess after freshman year, just eating healthier and actually working out and doing the workouts and not just going through the motions, but trying to get better, I guess. Yeah.
And of course, Maya, you personify fitness too. Both of you do. And so you've trained diligently in the off season. How have you done that?
In the off season we get a summer lift and a conditioning packet as well. So I go through those, and it's just the guidelines. You don't have to follow it day by day, but it's just basically to give you an outline of what you could be accomplishing. So I go along with that, and then obviously in the summer you have biking and just swimming in general, and then playing in some type of summer league normally helps along the way.
One thing I like about UWL athletics is life lessons that are taught, high expectations. I think 17 out of the last 18 years, UWL has had the highest grade point average in all 8 schools in the WIAC. Incredible. But life lessons, part of what you try to teach, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it's. I tell everybody in the recruiting process, or anyone that will listen to me, that I get to teach life lessons through a sport, and I'm one of the lucky people in the world. We want to play a certain way. We want to do soccer with certain expectations, but really that's just the medium that we use, so that when these kids graduate and they go out into the real world, they've learned hard work, commitment, being on a team, what it means to sacrifice for the greater good. We have 20-some kids on our roster. Obviously you can't play every kid. Not every kid can start every game. And so some kids have to make sacrifices. Some players have to make significant sacrifices. And that's just a life lesson that I want you to learn, so that when you go to get married and you realize that a marriage is about making sacrifices and doing those things and having a family and getting a job and all those. So for me, the soccer is important. Don't get me wrong. I want to win. I want to be successful. I want to play in a Final Four. I want to give these players an opportunity to play in a Final Four. But ultimately, I'm more excited when I get a phone call because you've gotten engaged, or you got your next job, or you just got promoted, or you got your first coaching job. When those alumni call me, that's what gets me giddy and really excited.
Mm-hmm. I think UWL hired the right guy as their head soccer coach.
Thanks.
Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, but we come more. We're going to learn more about our guests along with UWL women's soccer right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Again, the spotlight on UWL women's soccer. Great program. Head coach Jason Murphy, along with Natalie Herzog and Maya Schmitt. Well, Maya, being a college athlete you have high expectations. Everyone does. You have, but even perhaps more important is it says at one of your slogans at UWL, champions in sport, school, and life.
Right.
High expectations. You're on a platform. Everybody's like looking, watching you, see how you are handling yourself on the field, off the field. Mm-hmm. How do you handle all that?
A lot of it comes with time management. Just especially with school and soccer, it's balancing the two with practices and exams and even just simple homework assignments, but then also having a life outside of the two and being able to have somewhat of a social life, so you're still enjoying all of it along the way.
Speaking of a balance in academics, not that easy for a college athlete because you are going to enter someday the medical field.
Hopefully, yes.
Talk about that. In your major?
My major is biology, and then I have a minor in Spanish. And right now, I'm not exactly sure where or like what specific occupation I'd like to pursue, but it's the general idea of the health field.
And Natalie,
Yes.
and you have to obviously live up to the expectations too that we talked about with Maya, being a role model, being a leader, understanding expectations and so on. How do you share that out in the community and on the field?
I guess out in the community, we share like the roles of that by like volunteering and I guess
How about your leadership? Because being an athlete, you're a leader. Whether you
Right.
like to have that as some of the expectations or not, you are a leader, and you're
Right.
a gifted athlete. All state in lacrosse. I mean, you have been blessed with a lot of things, and with that, people are looking at you for leadership. How do you demonstrate that?
I guess like you said, like leading by example. So if it's like in school or in our sport, just doing all we can to achieve in both studying, going all out for everything.
And of course, that's the expectation that coach has too. Well, we talked about the progress of the program so far. Let's kind of step a little bit into the future. You have that brand new facility now. You're building a program as well. We talked about in the first half, broke into the top 25 teams in the country in Division III. I think the University of Chicago #1. But you want to take this to a high level too, don't you, Coach?
Yeah, I think our expectations are that we can be a top 10 program year in and year out, and always be competing to play in the Final Four. That's an experience that I can't replicate by through training or through scheduling games. It's playing in a Final Four is an experience that's going to be once in a lifetime, or one of those life-changing experiences for the players, and ultimately that's what my goal is, to give them that experience and let us go down there and compete.
Your athletes talked about balance, and of course the same thing is applicable with coaches. You have a family, young family, and you have other responsibilities at UWL, yet you're committed to bring this soccer to a nationally known program. Hard to balance all of that?
It's always a challenge. The balance is always a challenge, whether you're a player or you're a coach or a head coach or an assistant coach. But it's also what makes it exciting and what makes it fun. For me, I always prioritize my players first. with my family, but when it comes to my work, I really prioritize the players first and really give them all the attention that I can, and prepare them not only to play week in and week out, but be there for them personally if they need something on and off the field.
Well, Maya, you started all 19 games last year. You had 5th in goals, and this year a center, a midfielder. You're a captain. Being a captain, obviously, you're chosen to be the captain means that you have leadership skills. But are you satisfied with your performance so far this year? And fast forward to the end of the year, and what do you expect from yourself?
I'm pretty happy with where we are as a team. Individually, yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at. I obviously want to keep improving along the way, but I just hope that as a whole we can get to the NCAA tournament and truly make an impact in the tournament, not just get there.
Yeah, and I'm confident you will, and I'm confident with Natalie's leadership too. Left midfielder, 2 goals, 2 assists, a junior again. You comfortable where you're at?
As a team, yes, we're very comfortable. I think, like Maya said, we definitely want to not just make it to the NCAA tournament, but go further, like not just get there, but make an impact while we're there. For myself, I'm pretty happy with my play. I guess I can only hope to improve as well, though.
I've met the enemy, and the enemy is within. Ever heard that one?
I've heard that one.
In other words, most athletes are hard on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're never really comfortable. They just always want to attain more. Is the enemy within you?
I think that's true, yeah. I think everyone wants to do better than what they have put out there. Everyone wants to do more.
Do you have too high expectations of yourself, Maya, sometimes?
I think a lot of it comes with competitiveness. It's not so much that I'm not happy with where I'm at. It's the fact that I want to be better than my opponent, and I want to just strive to do more in general.
Coach, recruiting is one of the components of how you evaluate coaches at the college level. Recruitment, a big part of it, obviously. Mm-hmm. When you recruit people, like you mentioned before we went on the air, you were in Minneapolis a few days ago. What do you look for in athletes?
Well, we first try to evaluate if they're a right fit for UWL. Are they the right fit academically? Are they right fit socially? Can you handle the social atmosphere at UWL? It's different than a lot of other schools. It's fantastic. It's awesome. It's what makes UWL one of the many reasons why UWL is amazing. But you have to be able to balance the social part of it. And then we start evaluating the soccer. Do they fit into how we play? There's a lot of good There's a lot of good players that we say no to, that we're just not interested in and we don't recruit because they just don't fit into our style of play. They can't play feet. They're not technically at a high enough level, and so we try to go through the evaluation process there. And then once we get through that, then I really try to find out if they're the right fit for our soccer program. Do they want to be coached? Do they want to be coached hard at times? That's who I am. That's who we are as a staff. We love these kids to death, but we're going to coach them and we're going to make them better. And sometimes that means I have to get after them. Sometimes I have to motivate them. Sometimes I have to really push them outside their comfort zone. And so we try to figure that out. We talk to their club coaches. We talk to their high school coaches. We talk to any connections we have. We watch them play. I love to go watch kids play and not tell them I'm coming. Okay, because I don't want you to do things different because I'm there. I want to see. Are you the first one? How are you leading? Are you following? And you can be a follower. We don't need 25 leaders on our team. We need some followers too. But are you engaged? If your team gives up a goal, are you mad about it? Are you frustrated at yourself? Are you blaming others? If your team scores a goal, if your teammate scores a goal, are you the first one to go give them a hug? Are you the last one to go give them a hug? When you're warming up or cooling down, are you actually going through doing it, or are you just kind of going through the motions? So we spend a lot of time really. We've been able to hone in and really do a good job of making a smaller pool through the recruiting process fairly early every year, and because of that, we've been able to spend more time giving our attention to a couple players as opposed to a little time to a lot.
Well, as we tape the show on October 11th, you have 5 straight wins. You've scored 34 goals. This was really impressive when I read this season. To your opponent's 6. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you know that. But as we tape the show again, you play tonight against Stout on Wednesday, October 11th, and then this weekend you are at Eau Claire, so you have a lot of WIAC games yet before the conference tournament at the end of October. What are we going to see as we unfold the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think I love the fact that we've been able to score 34 goals. We've been pretty consistent, been able to score some goals. The 6 is big for me. Being totally honest, it probably should be 3. We've given up some pretty soft, in a couple moments we've given up some soft goals. We got 9 shutouts. I'm pretty proud of that. Me, philosophically, in my coaching philosophy, I believe we build from the back forward. So being able to score goals, that's awesome, but not giving up goals is the number one priority. Hopefully going forward, hopefully we can continue to defend really well. Hopefully we can continue to create chances and be dangerous offensively. Put us in a position that at halftime and then at the 75th minute mark of every game that we're in a position that we can be successful and get a positive result. Big one tonight against Stout. Stout has always given us a little bit of fits, and then we got to go to Eau Claire. Eau Claire got us last year and here, and so we got to go there this year, and so we got to really be focused and organized and be prepared. And I don't doubt these players. I know that they've been waiting for the opportunity to play Eau Claire.
I think you have confidence in them, and they have confidence in you. Well, if you're an athlete, you know what a rapid fire drill is. You certainly do, because it's because all athletes have to. This is what we're going to do now with a rapid fire drill, starting with Maya. What's something people don't know about you?
I went to the Philippines my junior year for 3 weeks.
And what was that like?
It was awesome. It was a wide opening experience and just a blessing to go.
Biggest takeaway?
To not take everything you get for granted.
Really? And that's part of how you live now?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Favorite saying?
Have the good old days, be in the present.
Meaning?
I don't want to look back at things and say, oh, I wish I could go back to that. And I want to be able to be grateful for what I have right now and learn to love it.
Live in the present.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I would think that, do we know everything about Natalie? What's something we would be surprised to know about you?
My senior year in high school, I got all-state in lacrosse.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So are they still celebrating at your high school?
I hope so.
And so what kind of a saying do you want to live by?
I would say living life to the fullest because you only live once.
And do you try to practice that too?
Yep.
Like, how do you do that in a day? You get up in the morning and you're all ready to go to attack the day.
Right. I mean, I guess you just got to understand that you can make mistakes, and that's just part of life.
Mm-hmm. And you learn from
keep
those
going.
mistakes.
Yep.
Defining moments, would one of them be that you were chosen as a captain?
Yes, I would say the opportunity to have that was pretty awesome.
So you eliminated all drama that exists in UWL soccer?
I'd like to say I try and minimize it.
Well, good, because I doubt that there's... what biggest role model for you would be what?
My parents.
And they're a big part of who you are?
Yes, my support, my base, everything, yeah.
And you have siblings and so on too,
Mm-hmm.
and they all watch, encourage, and follow Natalie.
Well, I have 3 brothers, so I don't know if I'd exactly say that, but they are very supportive. I'm very blessed to have them.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and Coach, having these two on the show, if you have a team full of Maya and Natalie, you're a successful coach. I'll tell you that.
Thanks. I do. These two are special, but they're all special in their own little way.
Well, we wish you the best the rest of the season. If our viewers want to get to watch one of those home matches at UWL on that brand new field, check it out. On La Crosse Street, right next to the football field. Check the website and the schedule and support our Eagles. So thanks again for being on the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to be back with some film clips of some recent high school games right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, playoff football here on KQEG, and our cameras were at 2 locations on Friday night. Let's start at Swanson Field with MVC co-champ West Salem hosting New Richmond from the Middle Border Conference. A game filled with both drama and excitement. Let's start in the first quarter with Brendan Holt showcasing his speed on a 58-yard run to pay dirt. Ryan Byrne followed with a PAT. New Richmond finally got its offense going in the second quarter as quarterback Micah Kyer scored from 2 yards out. 7-7 at half. West Salem would score twice in the third, with Holt recording his second TD from 2 yards out and Byrne connecting from 43 yards out for a field goal and ending the quarter. Dylan Minke opened up the fourth stanza, catching a Kyer pass and racing 48 yards for a Tiger TD. That set up a dramatic finish with New Richmond entering the red zone, poised to take the lead on fourth down and goal. With under 1 minute remaining, Tiger quarterback Micah Kyer saw a teammate open the end zone, but safety Ryan Byrne preserved the win by deflecting the pass, and the final being West Salem 17, New Richmond 14. So, West Salem moves to the second round, traveling to Anago on Friday, and we'll be there to bring you all of that action. On to Empire Stadium for round one of the football postseason. The co-champ from the MVC, the Holmen Vikings versus Marshfield. Holmen wasted no time flexing its muscles, going ahead 14-0 after one. Quarterback Isaac Hanlon and speedster Drew Becker led the way. Becker again in the second quarter, a 38-yard swing pass from Hanlon, 21-0 at half. In the third quarter, bruising fullback Mitchell Torud from 38 yards out and 28-0 after three. Then, in the fourth, Becker with his third TD of the evening as the game ended Holmen 34, Marshfield 0. The Viking defense held Marshfield to only 186 total yards, while they accumulated 353 yards on offense. The Vikings moved to round two of the playoffs, traveling to number one seed Menominee on Friday night, and we'll also be there to bring you that game. Well, that's it this week on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Thanking you for joining us. Have an active and a healthy week.